Florida's coast is caving in. Massive sinkholes are engulfing entire beaches as ancient limestone collapses underground. This is not hurricane damage. This is not a tropical storm. This is the ground itself, vanishing into the ocean without warning. Picture waking up to find your favorite beach gone. Not washed away over years. Gone. Swallowed by a 300-foot-wide hole that opened overnight while you slept. Right now, tourists are fleeing hotels in their pajamas. Emergency crews are racing to evacuate thousands. 47 miles of Florida paradise are completely closed because scientists detected what they are calling catastrophic limestone failure. But here is what has geologists in complete panic. Black tar is washing ashore. Ancient material from 50,000 years ago is rising through cracks that should not exist. And seismic monitors are detecting earthquakes in Florida, a state that never has earthquakes. The sinkholes are not stopping. They are accelerating, spreading northward and connecting through hidden underground cave networks that stretch for hundreds of miles. Is this just Florida's nightmare, or is the entire Atlantic coast sitting on a crumbling foundation that could collapse at any moment? December 18th, 6:47 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Coast Guard patrol boat CG-47 reports an anomaly 400 yards off Deerfield Beach. Lieutenant Commander James Walsh radios base with coordinates that make no sense. The depth finder shows 40 feet where charts indicate 12 feet. Within 15 minutes, aerial surveillance confirms the unthinkable. A sinkhole measuring 300 feet across has opened on the ocean floor overnight while Florida slept. At 7:23 a.m., the second sinkhole rips open near Pompano Beach. This one measures 450 feet in diameter. Beach erosion becomes visible from shore as the underwater void pulls sand seaward. Tourists filming sunrise videos capture the moment the beach they are standing on starts sliding toward the water. Hotel guests evacuate in pajamas, grabbing children and running as emergency sirens wail across Broward County. By 8:15 a.m., a third sinkhole tears through the seafloor near Boca Raton. The Florida Department of Environmental Protection escalates to full crisis mode. Director Amanda Torres coordinates with 15 county emergency management offices as reports flood in faster than teams can respond. NOAA aerial surveys reveal what scientists feared most. The sinkholes are not isolated events. They are connected through an underground network that is actively failing. Beach closures begin at 9 a.m. sharp. 47 miles of coastline from Port Everglades to Palm Beach are deemed unsafe for human access. The Broward County Sheriff's Office deploys 200 deputies to enforce evacuation zones, and the Coast Guard establishes no-go zones extending 2 miles offshore. The numbers are staggering and climbing worse by the hour. 12,000 tourists are displaced from beachfront hotels. 8 major resorts are completely evacuated. Emergency shelters open across Fort Lauderdale and West Palm Beach. By noon, satellite imaging from NOAA Disaster Response Division reveals the full and terrifying scope of the catastrophe. 23 distinct underwater sinkholes are identified across 15 square miles of seafloor. Dr. Marcus Reynolds, lead geologist with the United States Geological Survey, reviews the data with visible alarm. He describes what is happening as an unprecedented collapse event unlike anything in Florida's recorded history. Preliminary damage estimates already exceed $2.3 billion, and the sinkholes are still forming. Florida sits atop a porous limestone platform that is dissolving from below. Dr. Sarah Chen, lead geologist with the United States Geological Survey, explains the chemistry behind the catastrophe with growing alarm. Carbonic acid from rainwater combines with saltwater intrusion to create a chemical reaction that literally eats the rock. A process that normally takes centuries is now happening in months. The acceleration defies every geological model in her database. Sonar mapping reveals the nightmare beneath the surface. A massive interconnected cavern network stretches from Miami to Jupiter, discovered only after the first collapse triggered emergency surveys. Some chambers measure 200 feet tall and extend for miles through the subsurface. The scale is beyond anything scientists anticipated. The University of Florida research team, led by Dr. James Martinez, analyzes three-dimensional models with visible distress. The limestone foundation resembles Swiss cheese, hollowed out and structurally compromised across hundreds of square miles, beneath communities that have no idea what lurks below their feet. Multiple stressors are converging simultaneously to accelerate the destruction. Sea level rise is increasing water pressure at 3.2 millimeters per year, above historical averages. Saltwater intrusion is weakening the limestone 40% faster than records from the 20th century. Temperature fluctuations cause expansion and contraction cycles that fracture already compromised rock. Dr. Lisa Wong at the Scripps Institution of Oceanography describes the convergence as multiple stressors creating a perfect storm for geological failure. The observations are unprecedented and terrifying. Current collapse rates average 12 sinkholes forming per week. Historical data shows Florida averaged 2 to 3 sinkholes per year statewide. Monitoring stations detect what scientists call acoustic anomalies, the sounds of rock fracturing underwater in real time. Scientific debate erupts across research institutions. MIT researchers argue this represents accelerated geological failure driven by climate factors. The Columbia University team suggests natural El Niño cycle intensification, but both agree on one thing: the collapses are accelerating faster than anyone predicted. International geological survey teams mobilized to Florida within days. Emergency research grants totaling $45 million were approved within 48 hours of the first sinkhole discovery. On December 18th at 7:15 in the morning, lifeguard Marcus Johnson arrives for his shift at Deerfield Beach and discovers something that makes no sense. Black tar coats the sand in thick, sticky clumps, stretching as far as he can see. Within hours, the scope of contamination becomes horrifyingly clear. 2,400 pounds of black tar wash ashore across a 12-mile stretch from Port Everglades to Pompano Beach. Emergency response teams mobilize immediately, but chemical analysis reveals these are not oil spills. The Florida Department of Environmental Protection rules out petroleum contamination within 6 hours of testing. Something far stranger is happening. Dr. Angela Martinez, a marine geologist at the University of Miami, examines samples under electron microscopy. The discovery sends shockwaves through the scientific community. The tar balls contain ancient organic material trapped in limestone for millennia. Carbon dating shows the material ranges from 15,000 to 50,000 years old. The material was released when seafloor collapses exposed deep rock layers that have not seen sunlight since the last ice age. The connection becomes undeniable. Tar balls appear directly above known collapse locations with disturbing precision. Maps overlaying tar ball locations and underground cave networks match almost perfectly. The pattern reveals fractures penetrating hundreds of feet into bedrock, exposing geological layers that should remain sealed forever. Environmental Protection Agency teams deploy to run toxic tests. Swimming bans extend across 31 miles of coastline. Wildlife impacts mount catastrophically. 47 sea turtles show signs of tar ingestion. 12 dolphins exhibit respiratory distress. Marine mammal rescue centers become overwhelmed within 48 hours. Scientists racing to map potential tar deposit locations discover something even more alarming. Methane readings spike in some collapse zones, suggesting additional hazards lurking below the fractured limestone. The tar balls serve as nature's alarm system, geological warnings written in ancient carbon rising from depths that should never be disturbed. If material buried for 50,000 years is surfacing now, what else could the collapsing foundation release? The ancient past is breaking through, and scientists have no way to seal it back. Maria Martinez clutches her 8-year-old daughter Sophia's hand as they stand outside their family restaurant in Pompano Beach. For 18 years, the beachfront property represented 3 generations of dreams built on Florida sand. On the morning of December 18th, everything changes. Foundation cracks appear overnight, spreading across walls like spider webs. The building inspector arrives at 9:47 a.m. with devastating news. The structure is compromised due to ground subsidence. Evacuate immediately. Maria takes 3 suitcases and family photos. The restaurant, valued at $2.8 million, carries insurance that excludes ground collapse. Sophia cries as they drive away. "When can we go home, Mama?" Coastal infrastructure fails faster than engineers can assess the damage. Highway A1A1 shows stress fractures near Deerfield Beach that were not there 72 hours ago. Florida Department of Transportation engineers measure 6 inches of subsidence across a 3.2-mile section. The roadway closes to all traffic. 45,000 daily commuters reroute through residential neighborhoods never designed for that volume. Emergency repair estimates reach $89 million, but no one knows if repairs will hold on collapsing ground. High-rise evacuations begin at midnight. Ocean View Towers, a 22-story building housing 340 residents, shows foundation movement detected during emergency inspections. A mandatory evacuation is ordered at 11:47 p.m. Residents are given 2 hours to pack essentials. Elderly residents requiring medical assistance struggle down stairwells as elevators shut down. Emergency shelters reach 150% capacity within hours. The Red Cross opens 8 additional facilities across Broward County. The economic cascade accelerates beyond containment. 2,400